Hello, my name is Doug Digital, and in this video we're going to talk about the difference between an editorial calendar and a content calendar and why you need to know the difference. Let's find out. So to start with, we're going to talk about an editorial calendar. What is it and why do you need it? So put it simply, an editorial calendar is a document or presentation that is going to cover on an annual basis the key content topics, the key themes, the key stakeholders, and perhaps some of the key partnerships that your content is going to discuss and cover throughout the year. So let's say, for example, in July you're going to have a theme on inclusivity. In August you're going to devote your platforms to something to do with the great outdoors. Now this could be whatever is relevant to your company, but the most important thing is that the way that you present this information needs to be simple, easily digestible, and something that can be shared both externally and internally. Now first of all, why would you share it internally? This is because typically it gives your internal colleagues and stakeholders awareness of the main themes and topics that you're going to be covering, and they can make suggestions. You can basically reduce friction because you can give them a lead time of several weeks, months, even years, depending on how big your editorial calendar is. But then externally, it's really invaluable because you may find a lot of media buyers and media planners wish to do partnerships with you, brand collaborations, brand partnerships, and having a really simple and easy to understand editorial calendar will mean that you can share that externally in a nice presentable way. So how would you typically display this and format this? This is not the time for a really dense spreadsheet that is constantly changing, that's super modular. That's not the time for this. What this needs is something that is branded, ideally, perhaps a PDF page, a one-pager, with a series of months and your key topics, your key focus platforms, your key partnerships in that document. It may also be in the form of a presentation, such as like a PowerPoint or a Google Slides, something like that. Something that is really high level. Because what we're then going to talk about now is your content calendar and how this both plays with your editorial calendar but has a functional and practical difference. So a content calendar is not something that is typically shared externally, absolutely not. Secondly, it may be something shared internally, but is not typically distributed. This is something that is typically used as a workhorse for your content creation team. For that reason, it then becomes your place for your process, identifying and creating your content creation process, but also it becomes your day-to-day space to find out what's going on. This is going to be where you map out your week's worth of content by day, by hour of the day, by week, maybe bigger by month. But you notice already that it is a nitty-gritty affair. This is going to be where you'll be tracking the progress of each piece of content. This is not a one-pager PDF document like your editorial calendar. This is not a simple slideshow presentation like your editorial calendar. This is something that is constantly evolving and updated quickly and rapidly. So for example, you would typically use maybe a spreadsheet. You may use Monday.com, Trello, Asana, Wrike, all these permutations of kind of task management software, because that's what it is. It is a flow of content pieces. It is nitty-gritty, it is dense, and this is definitely not something you're going to share externally. It has to be internal. Now, the obvious question is, why is it not external? Well, because of competitive advantage. Do you really want to tell your competitors what you're working on? I don't. I don't want them to know my process. I don't want them to know what's at stake and who's involved in the different tasks and stealing my staff or my team members or just getting ideas. It's very internal, it's very focused, it's very busy. Well, it can be busy, but ultimately it's going to be your day-to-day resource. So let's just recap. An editorial calendar is your top-level, high-level strategy that's going to cover your key topics and themes. It might show collaborations internally and externally, and it provides an opportunity for outside organizations like media buyers and media planners to look at brand collaborations with you. A content calendar, conversely, is not to be shared externally. It might be shared internally, but generally it's going to be a hub for your content. Oh, sorry, microphone. It's going to be a hub for your content team. It's going to be the nitty gritty, and it's going to be busy. It's going to be something that is constantly you're checking every day. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you can see the practical reasons why you would have both. I think an editorial calendar, when used effectively, is a really good way to build authority, build consistency, but also build a more meaningful flow, a meaningful cadence of content. And then you're going to use that content calendar to keep track of those nitty-gritty tasks. Ideally, you would want to combine perhaps the concepts of your editorial calendar into perhaps a series of drop-downs within your content calendar. So you would take your editorial calendar and say, okay, here's our topics. Let's build out some concepts and fields that we can filter by within our content calendar, so you can get a nice flavor for what's coming up. So you can combine them, but just make sure one's external, one's internal. Editorial calendar, external. Content calendar, internal. So there we go. I hope this has been useful. It's been short, sweet and punchy, and I hope you found it insightful, and you maybe can use this information to go and inform your own content calendar, your own editorial calendar, and really get a flavour for why you need one in the first place. So if you found this useful, please give this video a like. Make sure to follow me on the social medias and subscribe and all that good stuff. And of course, if you have any comments or suggestions, or you have truly found it valuable, please leave a comment below. I really appreciate hearing your feedback. And I've been Doug Digital. Ta-ra.